Welcome. And let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. This meeting is
Need your sign.
being recorded by Dartmouth Community Media.
Sign?
That's all right, you're announcing it.
Yeah, we announce it. That's what they do at the other meetings.
Can I read it?
Yeah, great. Thanks you all for being here. We've got a quorum. This is a meeting of the Dartmouth Historical Commission on February 3rd, 2025. First order of business is to review and approve the minutes for the last meeting of December 9th, 2024.
Make a motion that we accept the meeting minutes from January 9th,
December 9th,
December 9th.
okay?
I'll second.
I've got to abstain because I wasn't here.
Okay. All in favor?
All right?
Okay, the ayes have it. That passes. Next order of business we can go ahead and take up is, Greg, you want to go up and do your thing?
Thank you. Greg Jones, architect, working on a small addition project for House 335 Elm Street in the Village. This is the house now, the back side of it. And I'm not even sure it belongs here because it's hard to see, but you can sort of see it from the street, so I figure we might as well get it approved. So there's a one-story addition on the back side of this house. What the client would like to do is put another floor above that one-story addition to get a master bedroom and bath upstairs. So basically what we're going to do is take the existing roof, not the literal same roof, bring it up one story, match the pitch. This is the new addition. So we'd match the pitch of the main roof. Two double hung windows into the master bedroom on the back, one window up into the attic. The goal is the house, one of the nice features of the house is it has a pretty distinctive rake and soffit trim detail. So we're going to match that with our new rake and soffit. It's got a pretty distinctive cove molding that runs along the edge.
Is it now wood or AZEK?
It's wood, and it's probably going to be wood again because it's thick and it's really very thick. So I think it's going to be hard to get it to be made out of AZEK. And we're going to match the shingles. We'll probably end up, instead of trying to patch in shingles where the new meets the old, we'll probably just put new white cedar shingles on the back side of this portion of the addition and the two sides, just so it all sort of blends together. They're white cedar shingles, so we'll do the same. There'll be white AZEK trim around the windows with a AZEK historic sill, white corner boards to match the rest of the house, an asphalt shingle roof to match the roof on the existing house. There'll be Anderson A-series windows with divided lights on the exterior and interior, not the snap-in grids and not the ones between the glass, but the ones you will see the profile on the exterior and interior of the house.
So there'll be no demolition, this is all addition?
No, well, they're ripping the roof off that one-story addition to make way for the sort of the extrusion up.
Okay.
So it's not really a demolition, it's more of an addition.
So the footprint will remain the same?
The footprint will remain the same. So that's about it. It's relatively modest. I think it's 18 by 20 feet, one story's worth. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
And when you do that, Greg, do you actually also specify the hardware going into it as well?
Yeah, I mean, typically we'll specify the bathroom fixtures, the doorknobs. They're all interior doors on this. The exterior doors are not changing. So yeah, we will, spec all that stuff.
Okay. Any questions?
I got a question. Is the house is going to be worked on in the back? Now, all the bushes that are around the front of the house and all that area, is that going to remain the same?
Yeah, so far there's no plans to do any other changes to the front portion of the house. They have talked about, and if they follow through, I'll be back. They want to try and figure out how to get a deck on the roof. It's a really difficult thing to do on this house, so, but that was gonna be down the road anyway, so they may never end up doing it, because the attic structures can't support it. We'd have to change all the attic floor structure, and so anyway, this is phase one. There may never be a phase two, but if there is, we'll be back, or I'll be back. Yes.
It's, this isn't a question, I'm just making it available to the public that it's part of the historical inventory. It's DAR 306, the garage is DAR 1207. The approximate date of construction is roughly early 1900s. It's the former home of George, I think it's pronounced Proul, not sure. And he was a local fisherman. And it was not most recently, but in recent times, it was the rectory for St. Mary's.
It's funny you say that. The owner had mentioned that to me. I forgot about it. If you go up in the attic, there's a tiny little cross and one of those holy water fonts nailed into a post. I don't know what it's doing in the attic, but it's still there.
Maybe
Interesting.
that was,
St. Mary's, not St. Peter's.
Correct.
maybe that was housing for nuns at some point. Not a great place to be.
No, not that attic.
Chris, any questions?
No, I like the fact that you're keeping the soffit, you've detailed, I noticed that.
Yeah, they love this house. They've been in it for a number of years, so they don't want to mess it up. He has his law office in there, and once he closes that, it's going to be their home for good.
Nice.
Now, is the garage going to stay in the back?
Yep, we're not touching the garage.
Who was doing the construction, Greg?
It's probably going to be Anthony and White,
Okay.
local Dartmouth construction company.
Okay, all right. I have no questions. So can we get a vote on HDPR 25-3 that Greg has presented to us?
I don't have my script, I read it.
Just go ahead and make it ad hoc, it's fine.
I make a motion to approve the addition at
It's 335 Elm Street.
335 Elm Street as proposed by Greg Jones,
It's HDPR 25-3.
HDPR.
I second the motion.
3.
Okay,
I second
okay. Great, all in favor?
Hi.
it.
Great.
Thank you, guys.
Here, appreciate
Yep.
it.
See you next month.
Yeah. And we'll let you know way in advance what time, okay? Okay? Chris, thanks for coming in.
No
Quick.
problem, sorry, I just.
No,
I had
totally
it
fine.
backwards, I thought
Yeah,
it was 6:30 and you were trying to get to 5:30, but it wasn't able to be changed.
totally fine. And we don't have a lot more formal business. I did ask Kevin to come in just to talk a little bit about what you and I spoke about. You can just come up here if you want to. This is about, is it 29 Alpha on, is that the address on Bridge?
Bridge Street, yes.
Yeah,
24A.
24.
Yeah. My name's Kevin Murphy. I'm a member of the Fire District 1 Prudential Committee, and we're in the early stages of considering historical preservation of the old station across the street. You may be aware that the station on Bridge Street, the newer station, is under considerable renovation now and should be completed by the fall, and we're looking ahead to see what we can accomplish in the future. That's quite a historical building over there, and I'm just trying to get a feel for the board, what their feelings are towards supporting that effort. So we can probably go to CPC. We'd be looking for CPC funds to help out with this project. So my reason to come here tonight was just to see that we can kind of get an affirmative consensus with moving ahead with this project with your support. Many more details to follow, absolutely, but I just want to get your general sense at this time. And if you have any questions, let me know.
Sure, that's great. So, please go ahead, Sue.
I was just going, can you talk a little bit about the funds that you've already set aside for that project? I know the chief had mentioned that at one point.
Yeah, a lot of those funds have kind of morphed over into the, because we budget that from year to year. So those funds have kind of morphed into the building that we're renovating now. So we would have funds available in the next budget year, but probably to the effect of I'm gonna guess $50,000 to $90,000 could be approved at our end. And again, that's pure speculation on my behalf, but historically, I think that's something we could probably come up with.
We talked a little bit about the stability of the structure. It's kind of an unknown at this point, but assuming that it doesn't require engineering work and buttressing and that kind of thing, I think CPC, seemed that they would be willing to entertain a proposal that met the Department of the Interior design specifications
Sure.
and material standards and all that kind of stuff. On the interior, though, do you have any plans? Does it require? I've never been inside the building. Does it require renovation to do what you want to do with it?
Right now, the interior is suffice for what we need. We've got the basement floor has been we've renovated the bathrooms and done a lot of painting and got that all organized down there because it's being used as a separate space now for the construction over at the new station. The garage would continue to serve as storage. It's chock full right now because of the things that have to be moved over there, but there'll still be things remaining to be kept over there as time goes on. So, and then the first floor, it's a clear span open building, so generally speaking, that would just need kind of a modest painting and cleaning up at this time for what we'd have planned for that. So,
And the garage?
the garage would be part of the plan. The building right now is in disrepair. It's not really in any structural issues that I can see. We'd further investigate that. But it certainly is in need of cosmetic repairs. The roof needs new shingling. The sidewalls all got to be shingled. The windows should be replaced, and just to get the whole thing back, it's been left to its own for many years. So it's time that if nothing gets done with that, then it will deteriorate, and we could have a potential problem at that point.
Okay. And is there a basement or cellar?
There is. The basement floor is what I said, that's all been cleaned up and all the walls have been painted. There's 2 bathrooms down there that have been renovated. There's a kitchen area, so that we've done to prepare for the renovation over at Bridge Street, 10 Bridge Street.
Okay. Great, and I know that we talked about doing there's plenty of historical material that exists on that,
And I think that you should have received some of that information. It was, Michelle, I believe, scanned it. Nobody saw it? She was gonna distribute it? Okay, well,
did you see it in email in the last month
she
or so?
said she was gonna do it today, but,
Oh,
and
I
she
didn't see
did leave a hard copy because I brought it in this morning so that people would be able to look at it for tonight.
Okay.
I
But,
did make a hard copy of the information that you picked up the other day from Pete. Is that
okay,
what-
yeah, and I've got there was some additional
Information about the deed and all that
Yeah,
stuff, yeah.
because
okay.
there was also discussion about the fact that there really isn't a Form, it doesn't have a Form B currently.
Right.
But, I mean, it was built in 1913, so it would certainly qualify.
Sure.
But I think it's something that volunteer efforts with people on the commission, we could, I think, put something together. I mean, I don't want to speak for anybody else, but I said that I would be willing to help Linda in any way that I could to put something like that together.
Thank you, I would as well.
And everybody should also know that this at one time was also a community building, like a lot of other public buildings that the town owned. The community nurses operated out of there in the 80s. It was the home for the Buzzards Bay Action Committee. So and then lastly, the Parks and Rec used it as a garage and a meeting space. And the youth athletics used to use that building as well. So it's had there's a lot of history, in addition to the Fire Protection Association.
I'm looking ahead to the final, to try to get this before the fall town meeting, to get through the various boards and whatnot, so that it can be presented at the fall town meeting. So that's kind of the goal, why we're starting now to start the process. It may seem a little early, but the months go by very quickly, and it'll be fall town meeting before you know it, so.
Does the town own the building?
The town does not. That belongs to Fire District 1.
Okay.
That's a separate entity, and the Prudential Committee is it's a whole other board, so that is owned by the district, and that's been deeded to the district. There's a copy of the deed.
And the deed was in that packet whenever
Right.
whenever it reappears.
Yes.
Okay. You know, if that's an extra copy, maybe we can
Sure.
combine with the information that we have and make a more comprehensive. I appreciate
It's a
it.
little
Kevin.
blur, it's hard to get black and whites on both sides like that, but that's what I got in an email that I was able to kind of roll through, so.
Well, that's great. I guess, is there any more discussion about this that we want to take?
When was it last used as a fire station?
This fire station now, I believe, was built in 1970, early 70s, I believe, and don't hold me to that, I'm not exact, could go back even further, but I'm not sure. The Bridge Street, over at 10 Bridge Street was the transfer from that station to the station on 10 Bridge Street, but.
Okay.
The most recent photograph we have of that station was 1957.
With it being in use as a fire station?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. Well, I think it's a worthy project, and I think what I'd like to do is vote on our commission's desire to help with this.
okay.
You've got to be the prime.
Oh, that's fine, yeah, I'm just kind of getting a general feel that I want to be.
But we want to, lend our help because we think it's a good thing. And
Sure.
so could somebody make that proposal?
Or,
Oh, sorry, pardon me.
I guess I wanted to say that when the time comes, we should vote on providing a letter of support to is the Prudential going to move it to?
Prudential Committee will be the ones moving it forward, yes.
To the
We're the
CPC.
controlling body as far as that's concerned, yes.
So I don't know if it's too soon to take a vote to provide a letter of support, or at least say that we will when they need it, when the time
Okay.
comes.
The Prudential Committee did vote at our last meeting for me to come here and to move this project forward. So from our point of view, that's where we stand. But more than happy to come back, but just know that there aren't any huge objections at this point, that's all.
No.
What's the, is it gonna be a historic fire station? It's gonna be, updated, the building, to bring it, and what is it gonna be used for? Is it just gonna be an historic site?
It'll be a
for-
historic preservation, but we would continue the use as storage and training over there, because the new station that's going up is certainly, it's on a small footprint. We're expanding it for potential full-time employees in the future, or if we got to use it for bedrooms, or if we get to the point where the firemen have to sleep overnight, they'll have quarters like that. But it's really not a huge addition to accommodate all of our needs, so that would
Will there
still.
be space acquired somewhere in Dartmouth for the fireboats and everything?
The fireboat could be accommodated in there, in the garage, and, right, we've got the inflatable fireboat also, the Ribby and the Dartmouth fireboat, so, and I'm
Are
not
they
sure.
all gonna be in that new historic annex of the other fire department?
No, they won't, no, the fire, in the present apparatus bay, we have 4 trucks in there now, and one of the boat the big on-duty boat is too big to go in the old building, so we'd be using up 5 bays right there. The ambulance company they're on their own facility now, they won't be coming back. But the present apparatus bay will have 5 spaces taken.
I'm sorry, is that I know there's a garage on one side, kind of single bay garage, and then there's the four bay garage on the other side. Is that what you're including in there?
Which are we talking about, 10 or 24 now?
I guess going up the street further away from Elm.
Okay, right, that's the old station, or I would call the old station, but we have an old station, it's going to be a new station. Right now there are 3 bays in there,
Okay.
and we would still look to utilize most of those bays.
And is that included in the scope of when you talk about renovation?
Yes, well, the historical committee, we would kind of work with you people that is the garage, which is shown on all these plans, is really part of the original structure, so we would like to include that as part of the project, obviously.
Okay.
Yes,
Now, the footprint of the building that's the annex, which is across the street from the main fire station, there's land that goes back in, how much acreage is in behind that?
there's an area there that's probably 60, I'm going to say 50 feet, maybe 100 feet. It does go to a public way, so there is access through that back road there, yes. It abuts right out to the street.
There be a parking lot put in there for over parking for the
I guess
fire?
that's something that could be negotiated. I know that talk has been around to tear the building down and make the whole thing a parking lot, but that's really not in our scope. But could something be accommodated? I'm sure that could be discussed. That doesn't seem to be an unreasonable request. For me personally, I don't want to speak for the other people on the board, but I wouldn't consider that an unreasonable request.
One more question. and
Yes.
I'll leave you be. Would there be, is there anything on the Prudential Committee of making a second level over the fire station that's there now for like meeting rooms and whatever up there?
The renovation we're doing now, you're talking about?
At the old, well, for the historic,
Historical, no, that would stay as is. No,
Okay.
that footprint would be the same.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, Kevin. Well, I think that what we would do then is we'll just give you a verbal
Nod.
consent that we're willing to work with you, and we'll provide a letter of agreement and support when you go forward to the CPC, and help you in whichever other way. And I think that, from what Sue said, that we would help in further kind of documenting this by putting it making as part of our Form B inventory of historic buildings.
Sure.
Which I think would help. I know it's something the CPC had asked for.
Okay,
So,
great.
Well, I'd like to do all of that in the form of a motion. If
Okay.
we can put it all into one motion, it would probably be
Sure.
efficient, I guess. So the members of the commission who are willing will provide additional historical information for a Form B. Secondly, that once we vote, if we're all in support, or the majority of us are in support of providing the letter of support to the Prudential Committee, and we'll do the letter of support once you get closer to the date for submission.
Sure. I think that's more than reasonable.
So we're gonna vote, are we gonna,
I just made a
Take a sip.
motion.
okay, I'll second the motion.
all in favor, say aye. Okay, the ayes have it.
Okay.
That's great. That passed.
Great.
Kevin, thanks very much. We'll record that, and we'll talk about a letter.
Thank you for your time.
Sure, be well. Thanks for coming out and for staying.
This is supposed to be Julie, right? I sent it, and she made the correction. She said, hold on to this because Roberts.
The only other business we have tonight is
I wasn't here for January.
just talking about the progress of the Form B.
She wasn't supposed to get this.
I abstained because I thought it was January.
But this is all January.
Did I see that?
Yeah,
Is that-
that's what I assumed.
That for,
No, it's no good.
so good?
Did you see these that were on the table? They're the minutes,
Yeah,
but it says December.
It's supposed to be January, but she was gonna hold off because you still needed to do December.
right.
And you sent her December's, but she was supposed to make a copy of your December.
Okay, so that's kind of what I suspected. So this is actually December on here.
So it should be January. This,
It should be January,
I
sorry,
was
January
not
9th.
here in January.
Right.
Which is why I abstained from the vote.
but she's gonna send January and February together.
You mean December and January?
No, December, she sent me December.
Well, December, I sent to her and she said,
Right.
was this approved? I said, no. So I was gonna bring it up at the meeting tonight. So it was not, it was not approved yet, I think. Anyway, this is a mistake date. It should be January 9th, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I wasn't here in January.
Right.
yeah, because absent, yeah.
Okay, good. So, So we voted, I guess, kind of erroneously on this one. We could do it again,
That's why I was a little confused.
yeah. So this should be the January minutes.
But were these sent by email? I haven't seen any
Neither did I.
minutes come out on email, so I was like,
No.
well, I haven't seen any, so I can't vote on them anyway.
I guess the thing to do is to hold off to the next meeting and vote on December, January, and February minutes
That makes
in,
sense.
in March.
Yeah.
And I'll talk to Michelle about that.
Yeah, because I had asked her, and she said, oh, I didn't send it to you, I'll send it to you. And so she sent it to me,
Just to you.
and I thought she meant that she sent it to everybody else, but not me.
No,
So it was December 6th.
Did you want this, or,
I
no,
would
you're gonna
like
just,
it.
okay.
So I guess, well, I take that
That
back.
was
So I
December
guess what I can do
6th, so that's
is I
what she
can
sent to
scan
me.
these at home if they haven't been scanned already.
Right,
And,
yeah.
But I
and
had
to
sent her
send
this thinking she
a
was gonna
packet
do,
with
you know,
all this.
I don't need it, because
No,
I
it's-
have
And this
the,
is
yeah.
a-
And you've got
this is
everything, right?
December, and I
You're all
said, oh, I
set.
didn't change,
Um,
I put the 9th, but I forgot to change.
You know what, I'll just go ahead and scan it anyway for our
Hold
records.
off.
If I could have
Unless
this.
you wait for Michelle to send it out, it's up to you, you can do it either way.
I'll wait for her to send it out, that sounds fine. Yeah, I'll do that and you know what, actually, I'll scan the whole thing as a bunch, just for my own benefit. And if she gets around to sending it out, that's great. So we need to approve November, December.
December,
December,
January,
January, and February,
because November got approved twice.
right?
And just for the record, she has my name spelled correctly on the minutes that are sitting in front of me here.
Yeah.
But on all our stationery, she spelled it Sewell. And if we have any contracts or anything like that, it would be great. And even the stationery, if it would be ALL.
Well, okay, so
I
on
don't
the.
know
on
if it
the-
matters. It's just a little thing, but we only have one name, so.
Right.
But she's got it right here.
That's me. I put,
You've got it right
I
then.
set up I give it to her like this format.
Oh,
and I
okay.
send it, Yeah.
All right.
Well, when I did the statement of performance for Lynn, for the Form Bs, your name is on it as a point of contact, and it makes me wonder how I
was-
spelled it.
You spelled the ELL, but that's okay. I mean, you knew it. Michelle and I have gone back and forth, and I think that's what's so confusing.
Yeah.
It's because I think she's just changed it so many times, she's not sure where to land. Which is fine, but I just figured legally it is ALL.
So that's noted, and so welcome back from your travels. And I talked with Sue about this a little bit, but I have not gotten, I know Buddy wrote to the town to, I'm blanking on the name of the.
Gary
to Gary.
Carrero.
Gary, I'm sorry. And have not gotten a firm confirmation back that the town's appropriated money for this, but CPC did already. And so I think it's probably worthwhile reaching out to Lynn. I know you wanted to before she started working. and
Yeah, I'm
you would be the
ready.
person
I
to-
definitely want to meet with her.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I can send you her contact if you don't have it already. And
Yeah, I
Say
think I
you
have
have
it
it.
somewhere, but if you
Yeah,
have it
you
handy,
bet.
just
I can
send it
do
to
that.
me in a text, that'd be great.
let's see, talk to.
I'll just shoot her a text or give her a call and
Yeah,
say,
she lives up in Boston, but she's, I guess, down here quite a bit.
okay,
Um,
we'll figure something out.
And,
And Sue, you want to be there too?
Yes, please.
and
You know her already.
Well, only because I reached out to her initially, so, but I don't really know her.
Chris and Sue. Okay, great. Any other business for tonight? I appreciate you coming in, Bev. I know that was confusing.
Yeah, I came in late too. I did.
Yeah, because the last one I saw, right, was Michelle saying it can't be changed until,
Same thing happened to me.
I was in a cushion, so I kind of like flew.
Oh, no.
Gosh. Is this, generally speaking, a better time than 6:30 for you?
Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't matter to
Okay.
me as long as I know ahead of time, that's fine, yeah.
Sue?
Yeah,
I
this is
kinda-
fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the way to go, because maybe it's closer to people like Greg's workday, so he can get the things done earlier. Maybe it's an okay thing to do. So why don't we go ahead and just leave it at 5:30? And
Great.
just see if we get objections from people. For DCTV, they were totally fine with it. I talked to the guy before he came in, before you guys came in. So that's good. Let's go ahead and do that, and keep that 5:30. I'll let Michelle know.
Do you think that it will affect the ability for a contractor to get here later in the season at 5:30?
It's a good question, because, you know, maybe during summertime they're working late, but, I think it should work out. I think it should work out, it's my thought, yeah. I guess unless we hear otherwise, we hear complaints from somebody, we can relook
Be
at.
better, it might be better if they end their day at 5, they don't have to, they can just come shoot here and,
They've got an excuse to
I
knock
didn't
off.
realize they ended their day at
well,
5.
I'm saying some end their day.
Some do,
Some in there.
some
Then they
don't.
have a reason to end their day at 5.
Yeah. Okay, well, anything else, any other business tonight? I think that Phil's coming back, but we're gonna go ahead and assume that he's doing other things. Okay, well, then I guess,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Okay.
at 6:19, meeting adjourned.